keep it real with ya.
Hey everybody, it's me, Minu, back with another video. So I wanted to talk about something, and as I was scrolling, I was like, there's another thing I could talk about. Um, so two things I want to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is bullying in the asexual community because, guys, like, and I think that I don't know how long this video is going to be, if it's going to have to be a two-part video, because there's two instances that I ran into. One earlier this year that I didn't actually ever talk about on the channel, that I realized that I didn't talk about, was was bullying with regards to discussions of race. Now we already know that we have issues in the ace community when it comes to racism. We just don't like to talk about it because the loudest voices in the community are white people, particularly white women and white AFAB NBs. So we never really get to talk about race unless some black person decides to bring it up. So that's one thing that happened earlier this year. And there's another thing that happened recently that triggered my memories of the previous thing. And it was another situation of people bullying in the ace community. And I'm just like, why? Why do you have to bully people? Like, what are we doing? This is not what, like, I think that this is the issue, and I'll get into the examples in a second. What people think that I'm doing, right? Because yes, I'm gatekeeping. Yes, I am, being like, separating different types of sexual orientation, saying what is ace, what is not ace, all of that stuff. And people think that that's what I'm doing. They think that I'm bullying. They think that I'm being mean. They think that I'm excluding people, all of that stuff. And that's just not true. But I do see people who do this. And so I want to call that out in this video. So let's get on to my first example. So this most recent example happened in an ace dating group. Now, like I said, I'm in all the ace groups. I'm in multiple ace dating groups. I'm in other ace groups for sex repulsed people. I'm in ace groups for sex favorable people. I'm in all the groups. um, so that I can, understand kind of like where everybody's head is and, how the community is doing. I don't just silo myself into one particular niche part of the community. Now, I will say I'm not on every social media platform because that's not good for your mental health, but I'm on the larger ones and I try to keep track of, what's going on. And when I see shit pop off, I'm tell you about it. So, this first one, um, that came up was someone posting in one of the ace dating groups asking about if it was difficult for an asexual person to date another asexual person. Normal question, see the question all the time. I feel like we've talked about it on this channel. Like, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult because there's so many intersecting identities other than the fact that you're ace. Hello, Sadie. You heard me and her talking. You knew I was making a video. Come on, you go. Come on up here. Come on. Yeah, I knew you was gonna come up here. Let me. I tried to angle the camera. Let me. Okay, now you can see more of me. Sadie can snuggle me. There you go. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for coming and providing the love and the support. I'm still sick as well, y'all. So Sadie can tell that I don't feel well, and I haven't been feeling well. So she's just been very much loving on me and snuggling me and all of that fun stuff. Okay, ma'am, 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 can I make the video, please? Can I make the video? Okay, we good? Can't even see myself behind the camera. I hope that this looks good because I cannot see myself behind the camera. So I hope that everything looks good on you guys' end. Um, oh, Sadie, you look tired. You want to go to sleep? You want to go to sleep? Is that what you need? So that's what the person said, right? Totally normal. A few people commented. Some of these groups, these more niche groups, can be kind of dead. So a few people commented like, "Oh, it's kind of hard," or "Oh, I met a partner and we're together." The typical stuff that you get when someone asks about dating. Like you get a bunch of people who are like, "Ah, it's difficult," and then you get a couple people here who are like, "Oh yeah, no, me and my husband, blah blah blah." Um, Which shout out to those people because it's real hard out there. So for y'all who are actually finding partners who are asexual like you, and y'all have like the same attitudes towards sex and the same values and the same interests and all of those things that make you want to marry another person, shout out to you because you did the damn thing, and you should be very proud of yourself that you did that. Anyway, so this random person comments. And the reason that I even knew what was going down in these comments, because I wasn't paying attention, the reason I even knew what was going down in these comments was because, like, a day later or so, the person posted about how they were leaving the group because of bullying and everything. And I was just like, huh? What happened? So I went back to the original post and I was like, let me see what's going on. So this person comments, and they say that it's extremely hard. If you aren't real asexual, don't waste your time with us asexuals. So saying if you're not a real asexual, don't even waste your time trying to date us. And the first thing I thought when I saw that was like, where are you coming from with this? Because the person asked about asexuals dating asexuals. They didn't ask about, is it hard for heterosexual or homosexual people to date asexuals? So they already like jumping off the ropes like, you're not even a real asexual. And I'm just like, what's where's this coming from? And I feel like some people think that that's the type of comment that I would make, and that's not the type of comment that I would make. I would not say something like that just out of nowhere. This person has not given any indication of themselves not being asexual. Um, and I get that we go back and forth about why, like, if they say it, then they are, or whatever, like that. But it's way, way more nuanced than that. So I don't just assume that someone is or is not asexual. I need more data. So they said that. What, Sadie? I love you too. So then the person asks, like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, last time I checked, aren't there different types of asexuals? So this is where the nuance comes in, right? I'm like, what you talking about, friend? Like, well, I know exactly what you're talking about. We've gone through the micro labels and all of that stuff. And so this person's already like, one person's already misinformed and the other person's already coming out being rude. Um, Okay, Sadie. Jeez. Y'all can even see her. Hey, Sadie. Oh, she's purring. I love you too, baby. But I gotta make my video, okay? Okay. And this is literally all yesterday. Oh, I didn't even mention, like, oh, I didn't celebrate Thanksgiving. So I've been sick, and I literally the whole day Sadie has been snuggling me, not realizing that she is part of the reason that I'm sick because I'm really allergic to cats. It's crazy how it is. Okay. So Bernie says, what do you mean? Your comment's a bit harsh. Last time I checked, aren't there different types of asexuals? The person says, I'm just saying, based on my experiences with people on ace platforms, where many of them say that, yes, baby, I love you too. I love you too. Yes, I know. Okay. So this person says, I'm just saying, based on my experiences with people on ace platforms, where many of them say they are not sure and have sex many times in their life, a little bit odd for someone who claims to be asexual, right? Like they don't know what they want. You either can be asexual or not. Why you want to be something in between? If I wouldn't be so sure, real asexual, I would definitely rather date on regular websites with regular non asexual people. Why? Very simple, because I have 99% more chance for success. So, what are you, 100% asexual, or are you just sexual person with lower libido? I'm not sure about this person's native language because the grammar's real off there. But basically, what this person is saying is like, hey, I've been on all these ACE platforms. There's a lot of confused people here. There's a lot of people who are really allosexual, but they have a low libido, or they don't fully know, or they're confused and they're in the ACE community, or they want to claim asexuality, and that doesn't actually fit them. And if you aren't sure if you're actually asexual, it's probably going to be better for you if you want to date allosexuals because you have a much bigger dating pool. So I understand exactly where this person is coming from because this is the stuff that I have been talking about on this channel a lot is There are people out there who are allosexuals with low libido, allosexuals with mental illness, allosexuals on antidepressants, allosexuals who are sex repulsed due to trauma. And a lot of those people will claim asexuality when asexuality just means that you don't have sexual attraction. If you are confused, I'm not super mad at people who are confused because shit, I'd get confused if I was reading all the shit that was out here that people were claiming classifies as asexuality. Like, I'd be confused too. But if you're not sure and you're still exploring, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I don't take issue with people who are not very sure where they fall when it comes to allosexual or asexual, anything like that. I take issue with the people who are confidently incorrect and who are confidently ignorant and like to spread lies and misinformation because it fucks up everybody when you do that. So I understand exactly where this person is coming from. Um, and I understand their experiences and how they're probably super frustrated of all these people who, as far as they know, are not actually asexual, who are jumping in and taking over asexual spaces. I 100% understand that. There's still no evidence that this person isn't asexual. Like, there was nothing in their post that said, "Hey, I enjoy sex, but I don't feel like doing it right now, so I'm asexual and I want to date aces." Like, they didn't say any of that. Their only thing that they said was, "Is it hard for asexuals to date other asexuals?" So, while I understand your frustration, what does this person have to do with what you're talking about right now? And then they commented again. They said, I don't like games. I want real direct people, no calculation people. Today I'm this, tomorrow I'm suddenly something else. Isn't fair to nobody. It sounds dishonest to me. No offense. Okay, so from what I'm interpreting from this statement, because still a little grammar, but from what I'm interpreting from this, is they're probably referring to those people who claim that their sexuality is fluid, like day to day. Like, and I understand that sexuality can change over time, but I take issue with the day to day people. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm asexual today, I'm heterosexual tomorrow. That just screams to me, I didn't feel like having sex today. That doesn't change your entire sexual orientation. That is just how you feel today. And it also screams to me, your libido was low today, your libido's high the next day. Or those people who libido spikes around their period or something like that when their hormones are changing, and it's not like you're suddenly not asexual anymore. Like, it's not something that changes that frequently, because if your sexuality changed that much, there would be no validity to any of the sexual orientations. So what I'm interpreting from that message is that this person's probably tried dating in the past and they run into people who claim to be asexual, but all the information they give you is to the contrary. um And I can understand that being very frustrating if you're someone who is asexual and you strictly want to date other asexuals and you have a very specific definition of what asexuality means, and you keep running into people who don't meet that definition. I understand that. But again, I don't know why it's relevant to what this person is saying. You know what I mean? So then they comment again. It's another long comment. They say, either you are real asexual that you never want sex, or you are sexual who is still able to have it. And the last case would be one, that's a lot of zeros. Easier for you to find a partner on a regular website because real asexuals would never have sex and you still want sometimes. Why are you limiting yourself to others that you dating asexuals if you can still have sex? It makes zero sense. It's more convenient for you to find sexual person for dating. No offense, I'm not your enemy and I don't hate you. I'm just giving you a rational answer which would be helpful for you with an exclamation point. I would excuse the exclamation point usually for people who English doesn't seem to be their native language, but this person definitely seems like they're mad and they're yelling. So let me break down the stuff that I disagree with this person on. Um, One of it is real asexual that you never want sex. That's not what asexuality is. You know, talking about asexuals would never have sex with three, four exclamation points behind that. That's also not true. Um, as we've talked about on this channel, asexuality just means you don't experience sexual attraction. That's it. Full stop. You are still capable of having sex. Your reproductive organs still work. They are still functioning. It's not like it's not like an asexual person is someone who's born with like their genitals messed up or something to where they are physically incapable of having sex. You can have sex. You are physically capable of it. Unless something going on down there, something got chopped or slashed or sewn up or whatever the fuck, you're still capable of having sex. Being asexual is about your sexual attraction. It's a sexual orientation. It has nothing to do with what you physically do. That's the thing that I'm always trying to tell people that people don't understand is what you physically do is not always connected to your identity. Going back to the example of that's Sadie. Going back to the example of lesbian women who want to conceive children who will have sex with a man in order to conceive children. Now there's ways to do it now where you don't have to do that, but there's been people who've done that. Homosexual men who've had sex with women to conceive children. It what and whatever the reason, it doesn't even have to be to conceive children. You know what I mean? But whatever the reason you choose to engage in sexual relation with somebody, as long as it's consensual and you're not coerced or being forced to, I'm not about to question shit about your identity. It doesn't change based on what you physically do. So to sit here and be yelling at this random person on the internet about you're not asexual because asexuals don't want sex and they can never have sex, that's not true. Even a sex repulsed person at some point might decide to try it. And that's completely up to them and that is their personal business. Like it gets on my nerves when people like you are in the community and you're still like pushing this thing where what people do in a bedroom is very private, it's very personal, it's up to them. It shouldn't have to be broadcast to you. No one should have to tell you about the how many sexual partners they've had and you're a rando on the internet. You're getting too personal here. Like I know that we're asexuals and I know it makes you want to have that conversation, but nobody owes you a conversation about what type of sex they have or how often they have sex or whether or not they're willing to have sex. No one owes you that information. So shut the fuck up. So, obviously, even though I understand where this person is coming from in those other comments, they're still being a dick. They're being very rude and disrespectful. And that's not okay. It is not okay no matter what side you could 100% agree with me and that would be nice, but that doesn't give you the right to be disrespectful to people in these communities regardless of what's going on with them. As long as they're being respectful, you don't need to get reckless in the mouth with them. So take several seats. So then this person comes back and the author of the post comes back and says, first of all, you don't know me, so kindly keep your opinions to yourself. If I want children, so what? How dare you have the audacity to tell me who I should or shouldn't date? Okay. And I don't really know. I saw another comment that kind of hinted to this ideology of theirs, but it's not like I don't know where this person would have like I'm missing context in the conversation and I'm just not seeing it. So I don't know if a comment got deleted or not. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. This person is, from what I can tell, I didn't really stalk their page. I'm not down for the whole stalking people's pages. But from what I can tell, this person is AFAB. At some point in the future, they want children, so they're willing to have sex in order to have children. That's totally fine. Again, personal, private decision, nobody's business. Um, but yeah, they're upset now. And they have a right to be upset. This person's being rude to them. So then the person says, I didn't tell you what to do as a command. I'm changing the words because the grammar is hurting my brain. I didn't tell you what to do as a command, just as advice. Do you know the difference between a command and advice? Advice was given to you because it's helpful and with good intentions for you and for others. And that's the whole point. I don't know if you are able to understand it. I don't know if you're able to understand that. You asked the question publicly and now you're offended. Why then? Why are you asking if you want only the same boring answers without content? From my side, you can do whatever you wish. You can do whatever you wish with your life. I could care less for you in your decisions. Why do you think that an ordinary stranger online wants to intervene in your life? So again, this person's being stupid. I can't stand a motherfucker who, I'm sorry, I can't stand a motherfucker who does something, but they don't directly state that's what they're doing. But then when you call them out for doing that, they always like, but did I say that? But did I tell you that? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. No, you are. You're telling her, or I don't know the pronouns. You're telling this person who asked a normal ass question about dating asexuals not to date asexuals, to go date allosexuals. They shouldn't even be here. Like you're really going in on this person and talking about you should never want to have sex. So if you can't have sex, what are you even doing here? Like, yeah, you are going in on them and they personal business and trying to tell them what to do because you're saying don't date asexuals, go date allosexuals. So they're right to be upset. So to pretend that you're like to all of a sudden come try to pretend like, oh no, I was just giving you helpful advice. I was just trying to help you out. You asked the question publicly. I'm giving you an honest answer. I'm giving you helpful advice. You don't have to do anything I say. I'm not commanding you. I'm not demanding you do anything or telling you what you should and should not do. Like literally, when you give people advice, you are telling them what they should do or what you believe they should do. That's what that is. So now this person's trying to turn it around on them and make it seem like they're being irrational or unreasonable or they're reading into things that they're not saying and all of that stuff. But like, let's be real here. You being real dickish right now. You being real dickish. You obviously been hurt by somebody. And now you're trying to come for this person who asks a normal ass question. And even if they are willing to have sex at some point in the future to have children, that doesn't give you the right to be this disrespectful and to like come at them so aggressively. Like, just answer the damn question. Then talking about, oh, would you rather just have the same boring answers? Yes, bitch. We do want the same boring answers. Because you know what? When you ask a question multiple times and you get the same answer over and over again, that's how you know it's true. So what are you trying to do? Are you trying to be special? Are you trying to be cool? You know what I mean? And being like, "Oh yeah, I'm being different. I'm giving you a different answer. Ain't nothing special about you right now, okay? The only thing special about you is that you're coming off real like you need to be banned from the group or something. Because you know what? I take that back. I wouldn't ban them from the group, but I would step in and shut them down. And I did. I did step in and I explained to them what asexuality really means and to stop being a dick because no one else said anything. And there were people commenting under the post, but nobody was intervening in this confrontation that the poster was having with the commenter. Um, so I decided to step in and throw my 2 cents, and they have not said anything in response to what I said. But I'm just like, why are you acting like this? I don't care if this person is they don't fully know what they're talking about or they're confused or any of that stuff. That doesn't give you the right to disrespect them. And and I I come on here and I can be as aggressive or mean or disrespectful as I want because I'm talking to a camera. But when I'm actually interacting with people online in person, I'm very respectful because I always take into account one, I'm very empathetic. But two, I always take into account that this person might have good intentions or they might be open to having their mind changed. Now, if I come to you and I say something and you are not open to having your mind changed and you want to be, disrespectful and act crazy, then we can get crazy. But I never start with that. I never start the conversation assuming that you're a terrible person or you're doing bad things or you are confidently incorrect and you're hurting the community or anything like that. I let you show me that before I make that assumption about you. So I felt that this person was just doing too much. They were doing too much. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be hurt. But the poster asked a normal question. You could have gave a normal answer or you could have went on about your life. Now you going on paragraphs back and forth, like ranting and raving and making this person feel some type of way because you're casting all of these judgments, you're projecting whatever you went through onto this person as if this is the person that did something. Now, I will say, If there was some secret going on where maybe they were talking in DMs or something and they knew more about this person than, came out in the post, I can understand. But then I would also say keep that in the DMs. But it doesn't seem like that. It seems like this is a complete stranger and this person is popping off. And I don't advocate for that. I don't advocate for being mean or disrespectful to people, because you can still be respectful and still correct people. You can be respectful and you can offer advice. You could talk about how hard it's been for you particularly. You could have came in and been like, look, for me particularly, I have been going through this type of experience when I've been trying to date other aces and it's very frustrating for me. You could have did that. All of this you stuff, you don't know them like that. You can't do a you when you don't know the you. So shut the fuck up. Okay, so that's all I want to talk about for this particular thing. And the commenter, no, not the commenter, the poster did make another post saying that they want to leave the community because they have been, disrespect. Let me actually pull it up. Yep, they said, I think it's time for me to leave this group. I don't appreciate someone telling me I'm not asexual and I shouldn't date asexuals. So they decided to leave the group. Some people were commenting like, what's going on? I went back and I read everything. I made my comment there and then I commented on this new post, letting the person know, like, hey, I don't know you well enough to know if you're asexual or not. Um, but the way that person spoke to you was not okay. And, whether this is really your community or not is irrelevant. You shouldn't go anywhere and be disrespected like that. So I did let them know that. But again, with the constant, like the toxicity and the running people out of groups, it's not helpful to run someone out of the group, even if they're not asexual. It's not helpful. What you have to do is, if you're willing to, you don't owe anybody your emotional, you know I forget the word, but you don't owe anybody your time. You don't owe anybody your emotional energy. But if you choose to engage in these discussions, just like I do, help the person understand that they may not be in the right place. And once they understand that, they will choose to leave of their own accord, or they'll stay to learn from other asexual people. But you don't run people out of the group. You don't push people out. You don't kick people out. Some people have accused me of that by making these videos. I don't kick nobody out. I don't tell nobody to leave the community or anything like that, because it is helpful to sit in communities that you don't necessarily belong to and just listen. Like I've done that. I've just listened and learned and absorbed information. I don't take up spotlight in groups that have nothing to do with me. Like people don't even know I'm there. I'm just lurking and I'm learning. And that's totally fine. So you do not need to be aggressive with people and trying to kick them out of the ACE community. If you educate them and they learn that this is not who they actually are, or they need another label, they will go to the community that fits that label. If they act disrespectful and they, take over and they demand everything, then that's a whole different situation and we will handle it. But I don't advocate for bullying. I don't advocate for being rude. I don't advocate for being disrespectful to people, especially when you're in this vulnerable state of trying to find your community. So that's all I want to say about that particular issue. I know that we're over time, so I will save my other discussion about racism and bullying for another video. Like I always say, thank you guys so much for like watching my videos, tuning in, supporting me, commenting on my videos, being active in the Discord, supporting me on Coffee. I really, really appreciate it. It goes a long way and it helps give me the motivation to continue sitting in front of this camera that don't like to focus and talk to you guys about what's going on in my life and what my opinions are. And I really enjoy hearing what you guys' opinions are as well on these topics. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you're drinking your water. Make sure you're taking your naps. Make sure you're eating food and being kind to yourself, because no one's going to do it for you. And I hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving, or at least survived your Thanksgiving. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Love you. Bye.